How's it going, everybody? This is Frank Avone,
And I'm Doug Quimby.
and we are Kinda Live,
Kinda Livin.
and this is the Mirth Films podcast, both audio and video. Right now, you're watching the live stream that we host on YouTube, and can also be listened to on SoundCloud and hopefully soon on iTunes. We're really trying really hard to get this podcast on iTunes and make this something that you guys can listen to in your cars or at work or, whatever you're doing. So, but yeah, we got a lot of topics to talk about this week, including a Jaguar Avoiding Death. We also have, what do we got, Doug?
We have the Blue Side Park in Pittsburgh. Might know of it from Mac Miller. He had an album called Blue Side Park. Well, they changed the name of it to Mac Miller's Blue Side Park.
And you'll be hearing more about that. And then also we'll be talking about how Spotify is doing a sweet deal now with Hulu. And our topic of the week, we're bringing in my girlfriend Marissa Gilliard, who is also a video and film creator, just like us. And we are going to talk to her about how if you can separate the art from the artist. And basically Michael Jackson had some
he's back in the news again.
He's back in the news again.
He did in the past.
Yeah, it was horrible. Come on,
yeah.
Mike.
But I mean, it seems to be like a thing in kind of all works of art, even in like the film industry lately. A lot of people have been getting a lot of controversy about things they've been doing.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Seems to be a big question. Can you separate the art from the artist?
Can you dig it, sucker? That's what Booker T would say. So, shout out to Booker T. I don't know who watches wrestling out there in the YouTube world and audio listening world. If you didn't know, we do also have a top chat that you can communicate to us and with us, or ask any questions if you are viewing this on YouTube. And we encourage your feedback to know how everything sounds and looks. We try to make sure we let the Facebook people know what's going on.
That was me on my phone earlier, sharing the post on Facebook.
Yeah, so if you saw that post, shout out to Doug Quimby, poster. So
yeah, poster extraordinaire. I'm getting better at it every day.
Exactly. He's not a poster you tack onto the wall. He's a poster that you just come to look at posts from the earth.
That's all we do nowadays.
That is all we do. So I guess let's get into the news. First, I want to talk about how basically a Jaguar avoided death. Not to misconstrue the headline, but basically there were reports via CBS network that a Jaguar attacked a woman while she was trying to take a selfie of the Jaguar behind her. And there's a video on YouTube that you can see. It doesn't actually show the attack. It just kind of shows the aftermath. But it happened at a zoo in Arizona about almost 2 weeks ago now. And the woman was in her 30s, the Arizona Republic reports. And she just, the woman had her arm clawed. And basically the cat reached and pinned her to the cage. And but in situations like this before, like Harambe,
it's kind of ridiculous.
So basically Harambe got killed after a similar incident like this. But in all reality, these animals are just locked up in cages for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it's like not the best environment for an animal. And like if you're gonna be getting close to it, probably I'm guessing there was signs saying like don't get so close to the freaking cage. Yeah. Maybe not take photos with the Jaguar. Like if the Jaguar can reach you, you're probably way too close to the cage.
Exactly.
Than you should be.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing something like that.
I feel like people are, like, I heard, like, remember, like, the one lady who fell off a cliff trying to take a selfie?
Yep.
So, like, why are people, like, why can't you think before your selfie?
Exactly, yeah. And
But at least in this instance, like, I'm happy that they're not gonna put down the Jaguar, because I mean, like, how are you gonna blame the Jaguar for doing what a Jaguar does? Like, these are animals, you know.
Totally, and they're you know, they're not there by choice, and if you're being an idiot, why should they have to pay for them you being attacked by them? It's just, you know, you're a living being too. Can we all just get along?
Can't we?
Yeah, you're basically paying to go to animal prison to go check out some animal. And if you really break it down into like
what it really is.
Yeah, like, it's cool to see animals that you wouldn't be able to see every day, but, you know,
like, that's
be respectful at least. Yeah. Come on. And selfies, that whole thing. It's like, I don't know what annoys me more. Like, I think I want to start just I don't know, kind of like what's the word for it? I'm not good at words. Start like
check yourself before you wreck your selfie.
Basically start like you know, like a revolution where you slap phones out of people's hands taking selfies or using them at concerts.
I mean, I feel like, remember the whole thing with the selfie sticks? Like, the one guy was going around with like the clippers and it's like cutting off the
just like, be careful. You don't know who you're gonna meet.
It's funny, but like, I don't know, people are gonna do what people do.
Exactly.
But like, can we get over the selfie? Have someone take a picture of you. There's people everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know how to take photos. These things are amazing.
What if that guy who clips selfie sticks accidentally mistakes your arm for one? Then you're screwed. So just make sure you don't take a picture of yourself by yourself using the camera, because it just also infuriates me. I hate selfies. You know.
You ever like look at somebody taking a selfie? It's the oddest thing ever.
I don't know what's worse, selfie photos or selfie videos. Guys, being in the video production world and doing a lot of different like real estate stuff, and this is, you know, getting sidetracked, but doing a bunch of real estate stuff. I think that the number one thing, my pet peeve at least, is seeing real estate agents do selfie videos or live videos just for the sake of doing them. Because they always end up just, you know, clicking live and then pausing a second. Hey, how you doing? I'm Real Estate Johnny, and you're going to be looking at me for a little bit. You know, it's like, come on. Cut that crap out. But on to another news. Spotify did something really cool. So if you hold a Spotify premium membership, or you plan on getting one, basically it's going to be $12.99 a month, and you can get Spotify along with Hulu, which is awesome because subscriptions add up, and we just figured we'd let you guys know because, come on, I mean, if we're not still on our parents' streaming services, and we're definitely using our own, and I'm not using my mom or dad's.
No, but this is a chance to get off of my dad's Hulu, so I do pay for Spotify. You know, you can't really download music illegally anymore; it's frowned upon. Stop doing that. So now I pay for Spotify. I like it a lot, but now I can, like, you know, support my own binging habits.
Exactly,
that's nice. That's nice.
It is nice, and you know, like, I mean, without Spotify, what is anything, you know?
I don't know.
I you know, the artist is getting paid at least a couple pennies per song, or I don't know, maybe fractions of pennies.
I don't know how that works.
But yeah, and make sure if you are a Hulu and Spotify subscriber, to please go check that out, because you could save some cash, and you could use that cash to buy yourself one of our Mirth Films t-shirts, and we'll even throw you a couple stickers. And Doug,
I'm gonna hand pack it for you, and it's gonna look real nice when you unpack it.
It is gonna look really nice, and you know, delivered by the United States Postal Service.
Yeah, they're USA. Really good at that. They're really good at doing their jobs. They're really good at making sure packages get to where they need to be, safe and sound.
Exactly.
Gotta respect that.
Exactly. And if you're wondering where you can get the Mirth Films t-shirt, you can go to our Etsy store where you can buy one. We have almost all sizes. If you want a larger size, just let us know and we can make that happen. We want everybody to be wearing them on our backs. Well, we want people to put the shirts on them.
Yeah, you should wear our shirts.
If you buy it, please wear it. Don't buy it out of pity. Just save us the false hope. It's not nice. But in other news, Doug, you said you found some cool news about Mac.
Yeah, so I mean, Mac Miller's he died. I think it was last September. You know, it's pretty terrible. I mean, this guy, I've been listening to Mac Miller since what, 2010,
2011. Yeah.
You know, he's made a very big name for himself. Came out with a lot of great music.
Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza.
Classic.
Yep.
Now it's blanking on songs, but Mac Miller. So he came out with obviously one of his first debut albums was Blue Side Park. You know, that's really where I feel like he started taking off in like really in the mainstream. And like that album was a great album. I actually listened to that the other day. Frick Park Market. That's a solid track off that. You know, Smile Back. You know, that's a great party track.
Don't know that one, but I believe it.
But yeah, anyway, so obviously Blue Side Park is this place in Pittsburgh, playground. Apparently, at least on Google Maps, they've changed the name to Mac Miller's Blue Side Park. There's been like no reports from like the city or anything that they've done this, but if you search on Google Maps or even on, I think probably any map app, you know, you find Mac Miller's Blue Side Park. So I think that's a cool way to, like, you know, continue his legacy. And I definitely feel like he put Pittsburgh on the map in a different way, and especially that park. So
yeah, I mean, it's cool that it's definitely cool that they were able to, you know, just honor Mac Miller being from the city of Pittsburgh. And I mean, it's unfortunate what happened to him, and this is, you know, a great way to keep the memories alive. And that's it really for our news, but I do want to kind of drift off for a second and talk about some of the things that we're going to be doing going forward with Mirth Films. We're going to be quitting.
Too much, man.
That would actually I'd probably have too much time on my hands if I quit. So I gotta, you know, we gotta push the boundaries, expand, and
do as much as we can, really.
Yeah, and right now there's a lot of demand to produce a lot of content, and with the amount of the team size that we do have, it's hard at times when life gets in the way, and but we're gonna continue bringing you things, and especially rolling into spring and summer, there's gonna be a lot of cool content coming out on our page, on our website. If you haven't been to our website yet, www.mirth-films.com. We are, if you don't, and just kind of like a little short description about us, we are a news media outlet that specializes in original video content, along with, you know, articles, the live stream podcasts, live music coverage, and we're trying to be the Swiss Army knives of Swiss Army knives. So
Swiss Army knives of video.
But if you know, we are influenced by other media outlets, and I don't want to name them just because we want to keep your attention over here in our corner of the world. And but we're gonna have videos coming out very often, and on cool people. We have a couple videos in the works with a couple musicians, some activism groups, and we're going to be covering events like Saratoga Comic-Con, and really trying to expand our territory. And then we're also going to be working on a full-length documentary, which we will be releasing details about really soon. We're just, you know, working out the kinks here.
Oh yeah.
So, but in the meantime, I do want to also give an endorsement, shout out to Cumberland Farms for the best $1 iced coffee that you can get. This is better than Starbucks. This is cheaper than Starbucks. You can get probably like 10 of these for the price of one Starbucks large.
I don't know.
All that crap.
I don't go to Starbucks. I have no idea how much it is, but it's expensive.
It is expensive, and but if you live in the Northeast, this is this is some good stuff. Don't put sugar in it. Sugar's bad for you, and don't put milk in it because milk just doesn't taste good. Drink it black. That's how I do.
I go creamer, flavor creamer all day, every day. You don't have to torture yourself like this guy does. Enjoy your morning coffee.
It's like having your cup of coffee, It's a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I want my coffee to punch me in the mouth, though.
I love it. It's like, wake up, because I don't wake up on time, so this is it.
I mean, I feel you, but I like to enjoy my cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It touches the soul.
However you like your coffee, drink it. If you don't like coffee, drink it. If you have heart problems, drink decaf, and you just don't like the taste of it, regardless, just drink water.
Water is the best.
It's the best.
Can't go wrong with water.
Don't drink soda. Soda will give you lots of
problems.
Lots of problems.
Especially diet. Diet, I don't know how people like diet. That is very chemically taste.
Diet's disgusting.
Like, if you're gonna drink soda, like, drink the real stuff with the real sugar. Like,
yeah, drink the real stuff.
Don't kid yourself. You know what I'm saying? But like, drink water. It's delicious.
And then I also want to do. I'm gonna hop off camera for just a second. I want to, right before we jump into the segment with Marissa, I am gonna start doing one piece of gear that we recommend a week, and the first one is something that Doug and I started using when we did live music videos and all that good jazz. This is called the DJI Osmo Pocket. I'll show you up close. Basically what this is it's a gimbal that stabilizes your video very, very well. And if you're listening, it's basically DJI develops a lot of great drones and just gimbals in general that hold cameras, but this is the first in the world that you can fit in your pocket, get 4K video footage. It's 60 frames per second, and especially if you're doing live music or you're doing something where it's involving a lot of people being around you and you don't want to be in the way, this is really cool because you can kind of just hold it. And it's super stable. What have you liked most about it when it comes to doing work?
I find it's very simple and easy to use. It's nice and light, especially when you're filming like a full set. You're gonna be sitting there with the camera up for like 40 minutes, an hour maybe. Yep. So with like an actual camera, that kind of like gets tiring after a while. With that, you don't really feel that fatigue. It's easy to move around, and you also don't feel like you're getting in the way of like all this big gear on you. Exactly. And the quality on it is amazing.
It's better than some of my other cameras, and I just want to say that I really like the portability factor, and it's just cool not to have to set up a huge gimbal. I don't necessarily use it on some of my bigger shoots because for some people perceive what you have as what you're going to produce, and if people don't know technology, then you gotta kind of, bend the curve for them to see that you're going to do a good job. And but yeah, it's cool.
Definitely
recommend it. And now we're going to bring in Marissa Gilliard. Let me just escape for one quick second. And
so let me start off with this topic. So we're about to get into is, can you separate the art from the artist? It's kind of hard one, especially when it comes to music and what's been going on lately with like Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. Like, these are great musicians. We know their music. Probably have it all memorized even if we didn't even try. But with like what they've done, you know, these are like pretty terrible things. So it's like, all right, do you now stop listening to all the music that they did?
Yeah, right.
It's a hard place to draw a line. So
it is a hard place to draw the line. And so guys, this is Marissa Gilliard. She is a video creator, and we wanted to invite her on the show. That way, we can all have a mutual conversation, male and female, about this topic, which basically Michael Jackson has been back in the news. What exactly, Marissa? Tell the people listening and tell the people watching right now.
Well, there's this new documentary that came out called Leaving Neverland, I believe it's called. And basically it's kind of going over that his accusers and people that say that he abused them back in like the early 90s, late 80s, these kids, and just kind of saying their story again. And I'm pretty sure it goes into a little bit more detail than what was shared with us like back in like the early 2000s, if I'm correct. I haven't watched the documentary, but I have a lot of opinions on this subject, so...
I hear ya. If you don't mind, Marissa, just hopping right up here so that people can hear you just a little better.
Okay, cool.
What we wanted to discuss is someone like Michael Jackson, idolized by millions of people, has been, many musicians have been inspired by Michael Jackson. He's written songs as thrilling as Thriller and as alphabetic as ABC. Easy as 1, 2, 3.
Please don't sing.
I'm just kidding. And, don't stop till you get enough.
Okay, you're just naming random song titles.
Just awesome
Dude,
jams.
You just gotta beat it, man.
Beat it.
I personally like the Weird Al version of that best. But...
Well,
that was really funny.
Weird
Al's a great guy, and he's not in any
he's
controversy.
Not in this.
He's not possibly a pervert. All right, so what we wanted to talk about is, should you still listen to Michael Jackson, or whoever the artist is that causes a crime, R. Kelly, and just one of so many of them. What are your thoughts, Doug?
I feel like you can't ignore what they've done. People are people. Everyone makes mistakes. Some are way worse than others. Yeah, I will say that. So it's especially hard with a case like Michael Jackson. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like I grew up idolizing this guy.
Yeah,
he was the king of pop. You can't go wrong. But no, it's definitely messed up what he did. And I feel like as long as you like acknowledge the fact that like don't ignore it, but like I feel you can still appreciate their creativity and what they want to put out into the world, because that's not necessarily like their whole being. Like people have good and bad, and obviously bad's bad, but like we all enjoyed the hell out of that good. So like I feel like we can still take the good with the bad, still enjoy the man. But no, it's like he's a messed up man.
He's a very messed up man, and it's not, you can't just ignore what they've done. I mean,
can I jump in on this?
Yeah, we're gonna just go down the line quick,
cool.
And
I just have a lot of opinions.
Yeah, let's go to you first before.
Cool.
Up here.
So I'm gonna disagree. I feel like you can't really separate the art from the artist in certain situations, and I feel like music is one of them that is really difficult to do that. Because I personally know, like, when the Me Too movement happened back, like, in October, my genre of music that I love is alternative music. And one of my favorite bands of all time had a heinous allegation come out about them. It was the band Brand New, and their lead singer was sending, explicit messages to underage girls. This is like back in the early 2000s and whatnot. And I know it wasn't the entire band, but it's the lead singer. He wrote all the songs for their band, and this had been going on for years. And I feel like, as somebody that was such a big fan of this band, and like, you can't really like separate that because you're like, oh god, like this song could be about somebody that's like young and under the age of 18, and it's like really disturbing to think about. And like, I feel like if I can like stop listening to like my favorite band, because like he did come out with like, a statement after this whole thing was released, but it was like basically him not really owning up to his shit. And I was like, I can't support somebody that's, very not aligned with my beliefs and on things on that matter. And that's just, I think in like other certain situations, like if it's an actor that was in a movie, because there's Kevin Spacey films, there's, who's the other person? Like, there's actors, and there's, but because I think that there's like a whole group entity there, that's a little bit more easier to separate the art from the artist, because there's like, there's so many people that are involved, and if like at the time, like I'm not saying like all those people knew Kevin Spacey was an abuser, like I guess what I'm trying to say, because I don't want it to come off sounding like but I think that they had no idea that he was doing all these things, behind the scenes and whatnot. But if you're gonna willingly work with somebody who did, heinous things, I feel like I could never morally do that. But I think then that's more to blame. That's where you're like, okay, I'm not going to support this film. But I think when it comes to music, it's a little bit easier to, write off a band or a singer, in my personal opinion, than it is to like write off like a movie, because some people might have no idea that this person was doing that. Whereas I feel like a band or a singer, the people around them do have a little bit more of like an insight and of what goes on in their personal lives and things of that. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I definitely get what you're saying, because more people were involved with one movie instead of just one person, know. But it doesn't ruin it for everybody. But at the same time, if it's a music group, what if it wasn't the other three people's faults, and then you wanted to listen to their music?
Well, that brings me to my next point, which is I believe like there's a lot of bands that I know of that have had issues like that. Like Newfound Glory is one of them. Cake is another band.
Oh yeah.
Where they've had like a person that was in their band do something really heinous, and they had no idea that was going on, and they kicked that member out, and they got arrested, and they're not a part of the band anymore. And whereas like I feel like that I can easily be like, okay, I'm gonna still listen to their music because these other members are acknowledging the fact that this person did a heinous act, they're kicking them out of the group, and they don't want to associate themselves with that person. Whereas I feel like, if it's been rumored for years and they don't do anything about it and they don't address it, like, that's kind of shitty, and then not going to support a band that's, like, sweeps that under the rug kind of thing.
Okay, so now let's say this is open for everybody. Do you now if somebody commits a crime, and not as serious as, you know, child pornography or child sex or abuse or whatever. Should somebody have the opportunity to redeem themselves if somebody accidentally says something nasty online, or you know, a musician takes a dump in the hotel lobby, like, sure, you know, like
you know, like,
10 years down the road, I only think that somebody should have the opportunity to redeem themselves.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, we're all humans. We're very flawed beings. You know, we all make mistakes. And I feel like, you know, it can kind of, like, depend on what that person did. Like, some things can definitely be way harder to forgive than others. But, I mean, it all really, I feel like it comes down to that person, if they're willing to redeem themselves, if they're willing to, like, show, like, you know what, like, I noticed that, like, I really did something wrong back there, you know, and I wouldn't want to do that, anything like that again, you know, like, I want to, like, redeem my, like, you know, like, at that point, it'd be easier to be like, okay, you know, like, I would like to give this person another chance. So I feel like it really all depends on the person's situation, but I mean, I feel like somebody, you know, if you should be able to try to give somebody a second chance.
Totally. And we have somebody in the chat, Patrick Freeburn, who shreds.
Yeah.
Patrick shreds. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's the one who goes to Lake George Skate Plaza.
Maybe.
Patrick, if I mess this up, I'm sorry. I should know it. We should both know you. Yeah. Jeez. Patrick states, if we stop listening to MJ, we might as well stop listening to Led Zeppelin and all the countless greats who have dark histories. And I agree with that statement. Personally, with the whole MJ thing, for me, I'm probably not going to ever listen to Thriller because it was never like on my Spotify playlist as it was. But, you know, a song like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough or ABC or some of, like, Jackson 5, old school, even Black or White. Come on, it's a good song. If it's on and I haven't listened to it in a while, sure, I'll listen to it. But I'm not going to be anti because of something that happened, because to me it's a piece of art. And I'm able to separate the art from the artist in some situations, but if you're a scumbag, you're a scumbag, and no one should give you the time of day at all. You should, you know, especially like, you know, child abuse.
Yeah.
You should be burned to the you know, to the.
I think
that's not cool, man.
I think it's different. I mean, I can't speak for every issue that's out there, but like, I think it's different. Like, that is such an extreme thing to, like, do. Like, it's not just like, oh, they, you know, had their foot in their mouth one time and said the wrong thing. Like,
yep.
That's, like, something that's, you know. And I think going back on, like, what he said, like, there's a lot of greats that have dark histories. Like, yeah, there is. I think that, you know, there's I guess, like, back in the day, like, things were a little bit more, like, as bad as it is, like, socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot. I was having this conversation, I remember when the whole thing came out about Brand New with, like, my friend Tristan, and we were talking about it, and, like, we both obviously agreed that, like, we were not going to support Brand New anymore, but, like, we were saying, like, there's a lot of people back in, like, the 60s and 70s in the rock scene that had, you know, girlfriends that were, like, 14 years old. There's a lot of things, like, groupies that were, like, 14 years old, and, like, but, like, back then it wasn't seen as, like, how it is now. And, like, I think that, you know, if that had come out today, like, there would be, like, you know, a lot more backlash. And I think, though, now that we're in a step in like the right direction. Yeah. Like that's not acceptable, and
But but that's also a bad thing though, and this is something that I am strongly against, especially with just some of the movements going on, is that you get silenced for some of the stupidest things.
Yeah.
And it's like as somebody who went to college and just either went to college or is just younger, your mind's gonna think that you're not gonna be like you're probably gonna end up being more liberal about things because you feel more free, especially in your period of 18 and 22. You're kind of just flying at the seat of your pants, just kind of seeing where life takes you, and then you start to realize what's important, what you find important, and I think freedom of speech is very important, and no matter what anybody says on any platform, as long as it's not super disgusting, even if you don't agree with it, that person shouldn't be silenced. And that's something that's going on Twitter, and I want to give a shout out to Joe Rogan Experience, if you're watching.
If you're out there.
Hey, Joey. No, if you're watching, you're not watching.
You're definitely not watching.
No, but
great podcast.
Check out the Tim Pool, Jack Ferreira.
The guy who owns Twitter.
CEO of Twitter. Tim Pool is a journalist, and he brings up a lot of good points about how you can get blocked or banned on Twitter for just freedom of speech, and it's baloney.
Yeah, no, and I also feel like with the whole Twitter thing, because I feel like that's been a huge thing lately, is like people making like kind of like a statement on like something happens, somebody makes a statement, and the internet sees it, there's a whole lot of backlash, and then like like that person is just like straight disregarded. And it can be hard, especially with so much happening, everything going on, it's like it's kind of hard to know all of the facts,
the truth,
as something's happening. Like people definitely want to like take stances on things, definitely hear the opinions out, but I can definitely understand backlash for certain things and whatnot, but I feel like you shouldn't just be silenced and banned for saying something. Like that's how you learn. You make mistakes. Like you said that thing, because maybe that's what you thought, and then you may have like heard it in new way, found some information, and it may have made you think like, oh, well, now I really don't agree with what I said. I think about it this way. Like people do change, so like I feel like you can't really just go crazy on somebody for just one thing and just like totally X-nay them, like.
Right, and information gets lost. You don't know the truth. And a prime example of that is the Make America Great Again kid who was disrespecting the Native American Indians at a protest. People thought that this kid was just, being disrespectful to a Native American. And in all honesty, that's disgusting. It's horrible. But what really happened was that the Native American was picking fun at the kid, and then the kid said something. You can't just expect someone not to say something if you're getting picked on or bullied.
Was that proven? Or
it was proven.
Because that was a while ago. I definitely remember hearing like a lot of developments on the story. I definitely remember this story. It wasn't the same as what I first initially heard.
But it was reported.
I definitely remember watching the video, and it definitely wasn't. I think both sides, it was just definitely wrong, but it's kind of crazy how like if you start recording at this one time, from like one video perspective or like one other perspective, how things can be certain ways, and that's why like you always do have to kind of hear both sides of things before you just kind of go all in.
Pick your side.
I think I've been on Twitter for years. But I think one of the things that bothers me the most about Twitter is the whole, like, if you said something that, could have been wrong when you were, like, 15 years old, people will find that tweet and then, like, bring it and resurface it up. And that I don't agree with because, like, I know for myself, like, I mean, I don't have anything to hide, but I know for myself, like, when I was 15, I said, you know, stupid shit that I don't agree with, you know, now. Right. And I learned from it and I grew as a person. And I think that, like, just acknowledging, like, your past mistakes is good, but, like, I think, like, why, you know, bring that up when, you know, to just, like, tear someone down if it has, like, no relevancy to yeah, like, I don't agree with that, but I think that there's always two sides to, like, every story, and it's good to get both perspectives. But I do think if you're saying, you know, horrible things on, you know, Twitter now, like, just going out of your way to just, like, I don't think that's right. But
yeah, if you're being a dick, just be a dick. Like, that's not cool. But, like,
you shouldn't get your post taken down. Unless you're being racist, or, you know,
or when you're threatening someone,
or you're threatening somebody's life, cool. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to the freedom of speech. And even though that if you like it or don't like what somebody is saying, should you be banned from Twitter because someone else doesn't like what you're saying? Should you just be shut off?
See, that's the thing, especially with Twitter, and it's such a huge platform. Yeah. There's millions of people on it. Not everybody's going to agree on the same thing, and I feel like not everyone's feed is the same. You kind of follow what you like, and, like, you know, you don't really pay attention to stuff that you don't like. So that's the thing. It's like, why go searching for the things that you don't like? You know, like, if someone says something you don't like, okay, you know, like, whatever. Like, you don't have to go and attack them. Just, like, that's not cool. Move on with your day. Like, there's so much extra craziness that comes on Twitter. It's just like, it doesn't seem needed, you know?
And get your facts straight. And don't get into it. And don't get into a Twitter war. If you don't want to, if you want to be upset and be all frustrated and pissed off for no reason, honestly, just go on Facebook now and say something political, and I'm sure you'll get a response that you don't like. So, and it might be from Uncle Joe. Who cares about, you know?
Who knows? Yeah. But not what you care about.
Who knows what Uncle Joe cares about?
Yeah. But Uncle Joe, if you're listening...
You don't even have an Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe Rogan.
Oh my God.
Don't be one of those people. Someone wrote resurfacing Trump's tweets contradicting himself is the best part of Twitter.
Okay. That is
I like when people make memes.
So what is it? What exactly is Patrick talking about? For audio listeners.
So
for people that don't know what Twitter is, like you.
Yes.
So, like, Donald Trump's tweets. If you go back far enough, or even, like, videos of him that, like, people find, you can find montages of him making, like, making a statement, like, oh, I'm on this side of one thing, like, way back in the day, and now he's on the complete other side. So that's what somebody just commented, like, seeing Donald Trump contradict himself is wildly hilarious. Wildly, like, where's this guy stand on? Really, like, you don't really know. Kind of messed up, but we won't get into that. But yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, we all live and grow. We all change. Like, we can't be, like, the past is the past. Mm-hmm. We learn from the past.
Who you are today is not who you were a year ago, 2 years ago.
Exactly. You weren't even the same person, like, a couple months ago. Like,
a couple minutes ago.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, you shouldn't be held, I mean, like, obviously, you know what I'm saying. You shouldn't be held accountable for your past, you know.
No,
like, everyone has bad stuff in
Figure
their past.
It out. So
no one's perfect.
But before we wrap up this episode of Kinda Livin, Kinda Live, Kinda Live, Kinda Livin, Mirth Films podcast. Hey, it's happened twice now in a row. At least it didn't happen at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah,
it was kind of crappy. But let's see, what do you got going on? What's going on in Doug's world? What have you been doing? What have you been listening to? What have you been plotting?
Plotting. Joe Rogan podcast all day. You know, that's what I do at work. It makes you forget about it. Makes the day go by. I like it. I feel like I'm learning things, you know. Other than that, you know, just trying to take life by the horns and not be lazy all the time. It's kind of hard,
it.
But
I like it.
Yeah.
Marissa, what's up in your world?
What's up in my world? I recently got a new job that I really like.
Oh, yeah.
What's your job?
I'm a producer.
Louder.
I'm a producer.
Louder.
Stop. I'm a producer for a video company in the city, so that's pretty cool. I really enjoy that. I'm working on a screenplay idea that I've been working on for like about a year now. Hopefully, I can finish that soon. So yeah, that's what's going on with me.
What have you been listening to?
What have I been listening to? My favorite podcast at the moment is called My Favorite Murder. It's about like true crime, murder mystery type of murder true crime stories. It's told by these two women named Karen and Georgia. And basically it's like a comedy true crime podcast. So like it's not like frightening to people who don't like normally listening to that stuff. The Heaven's Gate episode is my personal fave.
What about you, Frankie?
So,
what have you been listening to?
What you been up to?
Honestly, I haven't been listening to much in my car because my FM transmitter went and I can't listen to music loud. So what I'll do is like I'll kind of wedge my phone in the center console in between where I put my coffee and my water in the morning and kind of just use it as like sound that bounces off.
You should get like headphones.
I should, but then you know what? If I have both in the ear, which I probably would, I'm gonna get pulled over.
I'm just envisioning you driving with like.
I've done it before. I've done it. I used to do
in your car.
I've done it.
Dude, like, you can't do the one pod in, one pod out.
What if it's a song that has, you know, different
so
tracks?
I listen to podcasts.
So, but hey, let me finish what I'm gonna say. Okay, so I've been listening to podcasts. My favorite podcasts to listen to are the 9 Club because I love skateboarding, and they interview a professional skateboarder every single week, and every other week they interview. They don't interview. They have the 9 Club Experience, which is a news talk show where they do have a guest on, and it's more of a fun podcast that they do on the side. And I would subscribe to them if I were you. Follow them. You can watch or view them as well. Joe Rogan Experience. I mean, enough said. IGN. Even though I don't play much video games other than the Mario franchises
and Skate.
Tony
Hawk.
And Tony Hawk and but so. I just what was I talking? IGN. Okay, so yeah, so my 2 favorite IGN podcasts to listen to, Game Scoop because it covers all bases of video games, along with oh crap, what's the Nintendo one? Hold on a second. I don't even have my phone.
Nintendo podcast.
Listen to the Nintendo podcast on IGN. It'll pop up, but that has awesome host on that, and they even dive into secrets into games and stuff like that, which is really cool. And that's how I get a lot of my gaming news, which is important because it's a subject I don't really dive into a lot other than just for leisure. And then lastly, I've been listening to just a few different photography podcasts, one of them being the Tony and Chelsea Northrup photography podcast. Picture This. It's really good. Jared Polin. I love listening to him really angry and rant about things. And he just makes a complete idiot out of himself, but I love listening to him make a complete idiot out of himself. And then also, there's one more. The Petapixel Photography podcast with Sharky James. Really good podcast. And, but yeah, so that's really what I've been listening to. I'm going to be heading out to Rochester this Friday to be interviewing the founding member of Groove Safe, which is an advocacy group for basically, men keeping their creepy fucking hands off women at concerts. Don't be that guy. You're not ever going to find the girl you love.
Nope.
If you put your hands on them. And then, if you write music one day and that comes out that you did, you're going to be in Michael Jackson's boat. So, reserve your possibly good music.
It's more something that happens in, like, the alternative music scene, like pop punk kind of thing.
It happens everywhere.
It does. But
everywhere, and that's gonna be really cool. Aqueous Rising Jam Band is playing out there. They're actually based out of Western New York, so it'll be cool to see them. They just got off a hot West Coast tour, sold out a lot of shows, including shows in California and Colorado, and just the talk of live music has got me so excited for the summer. Between just all the different music festivals that we plan on going to, along with just seeing the Fish. Come on.
Gotta go see Fish.
And maybe not this one. You might see her at a Warped Tour date. But we will be at Noel Gallagher and Smashing Pumpkins, Jones Beach, which will be really cool. And other than that, like I said, we have a super secret documentary that's going to be... details are going to be released really soon once we put more planning into it. And as always, you can listen to this podcast right now on SoundCloud, and soon hopefully will be available on iTunes. It's probably going to take a few more episodes to get there, but we will get there. And don't forget, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. for right now, video live stream of Kinda Live Kinda Livin, if you want to listen to it right then and there at 9. Or, like I said, if you want to save it for the following morning while you're drinking your cup of coffee, just listen to us.
Or if you're like me and have a 2-hour commute in the morning, you can listen to my voice or Frankie's voice or Doug's voice very early in the morning.
Why not?
Smooth jazz. But again, it's been fun, and we can't wait to talk to you guys next week. My name's Frank Avone.
I'm Steve Jobs.
And...
I'm Marissa Gilliard.
And we are kinda done.
Kinda Live Kinda Livin.
See ya.